Welcome to Baker Makes It. My name is Zach Baker, and in this video we're going to be putting a trailer hitch on my wife's 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. This appears like it's going to be a really easy process. I've started to take it apart already and realized I should share it with you all. So let me show you what we're installing and what this process is going to look like. All right, we've got a Curt trailer hitch. This is for Santa Fe's and Sorrentos. This particular one is the 13609. I went on Curt's website and this is just what they recommended. So this is a class 3 trailer hitch. It's got a 2-inch opening, rated 4,000 pounds, 600-pound tongue weight. So this will be for a bike rack mostly. We don't plan on towing any big trailers with this, but I installed this on her last car and I've been real happy with just how it's held up. It's very beefy. It comes with these grade 8 bolts and these conical washers. They're a little hard to tell, but they're actually tapered, so they'll keep it from loosening up under the car. So let's look at the process here. All right, so like I said, I already started here, but in the back of this Santa Fe, I had to get out the manual here to figure out how to get the spare tire down. There's this little molded part that normally sits on the right. When you lift that up, in here, there's an opening. When I started, it had this little plug in it. It says let's use a coin or a screwdriver. We unscrew that, and then we're going to use the lug nut wrench on here, and we're going to lower that down. Didn't take much to get that going. We lowered that until it was touching the ground, and then we got our spare out. Okay, so this is our view underneath. Now that the spare tire is down, you can see the cable it was hanging from and the little gearbox that we were cranking on up there. The next step is to get this exhaust lowered. It's going to be in the way for mounting, and so there's a bolt hole here, and there's another here that has a black plug in it, and then same on this side, so you can see a little bit better, threaded hole and plug. We're going to remove that plug. That's also going to be threaded, and that's how we're mounting this. And then there's also one on the inside, and same over here. So what I did was I removed this exhaust hanger, that exhaust hanger, and that exhaust hanger, and then I have this exhaust sitting on a jack stand. I used one of my favorite tools. This is specifically for removing exhaust hangers. I bought one of these years ago after having fought with many of these. It's super easy. It's up to you if you want to get it or not, but it really does simplify this. You slide it behind and then you squeeze it like pliers, and it just pops it right off. So that made this easy peasy. Sometimes because you're fighting multiple hangers at once, it's a huge fight to get these off. It's something that I invested in a while ago, and I'm really glad I did. So next step, we're going to get these plugs out, and then we got to get this this hitch up under here and get everything started before we get it torqued down. Okay, another tool that I'm going to use here that is not necessary but helpful is a panel pry bar. This will be for removing clips on the inside of a car. It just makes it easier to get on both sides and pop this thing out. You could totally use a screwdriver too. So I just realized when I took that plug out, there's actually no threads up there, and actually all the holes are accessible. I think the reason they're having us remove these is so that if any moisture gets up in there, it can still come back out. So I misspoke earlier. This is not where the screw goes. You can actually see there's 1, 2, and 3, and on the other side it's the same deal. Okay, so this next part's gonna be a little hard to show you what's going on, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this hitch in here and just do my best to get it set up in here, and I'm going to just start threading in bolts one at a time. We're just gonna hand thread them for right now, and then we'll come back and we'll torque them down once they're all started. All right, before I go dropping that on my face, let's prep these bolts. And what we're gonna do is take the side that has the little dots on it. I don't know if you can see, but the concave side, that goes against the frame according to the instructions. So it's gonna sit like this, and so it's kind of cupped the way I'm holding it right now, and that will push against the frame and apply pressure back on the bolt to prevent it from loosening. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep all 6 of these, and then we'll see if we can wrestle it up in here. Okay, we are started. That was a bit of a fight. They're very fine threaded screws. The interesting thing about this is it moves a lot side to side. There's probably 3/8 to 1/2 of an inch of play side to side, which I don't love. I wish that was a little bit tighter of a fit, but I think what we're going to do is just tighten down these ones that are going vertically up into it, and then we'll work on either side to get that kind of centered. I'm also going to check it in the back to make sure that it visually is centered on the car, to see if we need to go to one side or the other. And then we're going to go ahead and torque these down, but what I don't want to do is tweak the frame here at all, or the unibody at all. So we're just going to kind of take this slow. I am going to get an extension so I can get up under here and tighten these up. Okay, so I've got everything snugged up at this point. There's maybe 1/8 of an inch on this side and 3/16 on the passenger. I just checked the instructions again, and there's no mention of there being that gap. So I'm pretty sure this is intended to be tightened tight to the unibody, and I'm just hoping that these plates on either end will flex enough to allow that to happen before doing any damage to the car. So they're asking for 60 foot-pounds of torque on these bolts, which I don't always torque stuff, but for something like this, it's easy enough to do that. And you know, obviously we don't want this thing coming off. So I'm just going to keep working my way around, tightening, start with the bigger gaps, and then we'll switch to the torque wrench and make sure it's all good. All right, I have to admit, I would not have gone that tight if it weren't for the instructions saying so. 60 foot-pounds is no joke, especially under here. I went in with a half inch drive torque wrench, and there just wasn't room, so I swapped to 3/8, and that worked out. Everything's torqued. It did pull in tight against the frame, so I guess that's just how it's supposed to be. I don't see any signs of distress on the unibody, but I realized there was really no way we were getting to 60 foot-pounds without it touching. So I think we're good there. So what we're going to do now is pop all these exhaust hangers back on, make sure everything fits. There is a provision in the instructions, if things are hitting, we can actually bend some of these brackets to make it work. But I'm hoping that that's not an issue. When I raise this up, it seems like where it's at now is going to work, but we'll see. Looking up here, it looks like there is no issue at all with interference, and running my hand up, there's no problem there. So it's gonna be kind of hard to show you the rest, but you just have to take my word for it. It is not touching up there, so that's great. No adjustment needed. Let's get the spare tire back in. For a second there, I forgot which way the spare tire went. I think I figured it out based on the scratches here. I think this side was up. It also means the valve stem is up. So before we put this in, we might as well just air it up, make sure we're at the right pressure. Well, there you have it. There's the final install on the Santa Fe. It really doesn't stick down any more than it needs to, but we've got a nice clean install here. All you see is the receiver and the safety hooks, so real happy with that. It was a bit of a fight, but overall not too bad. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this helps. Feel free to comment any questions you might have. I will be happy to help if I can. I would also encourage you to check out my channel, Baker Makes It. Got all kinds of DIY videos in the garage, the shop. I've got some restoration projects, and I just try to film whatever I get into. So hope this helped, and we'll see you on the next one.